So here we are back in the greenhouse, and I want to give you an update on the squash plants. As you know, I love growing. So these squash plants now, look, they are definitely ready to be coming out of their pots, and we're going to plant some of them now up in the polytunnel. So we're still in April here. We can still get frosts right up until the first week in June sometimes. So they'll be going into the polytunnel, which means they will be protected if we do get a hard frost, which could obviously wipe out a soft plant like this one. And I'll take you along with me now and show you how I do that. So this is us delving back into our 2-year-old beautiful compost heap here, and we've got these bags which are great because at the end of the year I can tip out the contents back into the ground, dig it onto my borders and fold up these bags, clean them down, ready for the spring. So we're going to fill up these bags now with this beautiful rich compost, and this is what we're going to grow our squashes in the polytunnel. And look at this. This is what I love. This is chard, and this has just decided to pop up here. We have this happening all over the place. Volunteers, which I like to then pick for the chickens. You can see that something's been munching on that already. Right, off we go. Let's fill up these bags. So we've planted the squashes now in these bags, and we filled the bags up with compost, and you can see the depth of the bags here. We've got a lot of compost in there, our own homegrown compost, so we're able to put 2 squash plants in here. And in this one we've put 2 acorn winter bush squashes. And as they get a bit bigger, I've got to put a string on this handle here and tie it up. But as they get bigger, we'll train them and they will climb up. This is just some baler twine from our hay bales. They'll climb up here, which I've attached to the top bar of the polytunnel. And then they're just free to climb and to grow wherever they want. And the vines are very, very strong when you raise your plants properly, feed them well in really good organic compost, and the fruits can then just hang down and ripen naturally. So it's a great way to do it, and they're protected as well from the frost. We could get an early frost here in September, so that's not to worry, because if they're not ripened up enough yet, they can stay in here. They can be protected in the polytunnel, and we pick them then when they're ripe. So it's a great way to grow squashes in this way. And we just need to keep the polytunnel well ventilated during the day. It can get pretty hot in here, so we need to keep the front and the back doors open, let the insects in, pollinate the flowers on the squash plants, and let these squashes grow and do their thing. So we've also, like I showed you, these are the tomato rows here on this side of the polytunnel. So I want to show you what we got here. So you see these are little tomato plants growing up that are self-seeded from last year, where I've let some of the tomatoes fall to the ground and I've kept it dry throughout the winter and the early spring. I've just started watering now, and these seeds are starting to germinate and to grow. So I'll let these get a little bit bigger, then I'll thin them out and I'll be able to plant them along the rows here. And there we are, there's a nice big clump just there, look. And when they self-seed like that, and you really need to do that with heritage varieties of tomatoes, not the F1 hybrids. The heritage ones will come true when they self-seed to the parent plant. But they're so much stronger and healthier, these plants, when they do this. And I love doing this. We do this with all sorts of plants across the farm. We have a lot of Swiss chard and herbs, and we have some kale that self-seeds, and spinach, sorrel, all sorts of plants that self-seed. And I've got a polytunnel down there that is just full of self-seeded mustards and chards and kale, and all sorts of herbs, parsley and calendula and so on. So, you know, that's great to do that. So we'll give you an update again and let you know how this is coming on. So just to show you Crown Prince that I grew last year, and I would have harvested it at the end of September, beginning of October, and we're now towards the end of April. And here we have it. This is a slightly smaller one. They can grow bigger than this. But look at that beautiful colour, that beautiful blue-green. And the flesh inside is lovely and orange. I think on some of my other videos I've posted, I've shown you what the inside of these are like. But this is why I love growing squash, because, you know, there's no freezing to do, there's no canning to do. It's just this, you just pick it and you ripen it off in the sun, make sure that that stalk there is all nice and hard and dry, and then you can come and store them in inside. It's not too hot in here in our utility, and I've also got a couple of others. This is a mashed potato squash, a nice little one. We've actually got a butternut there as well, and a couple of others. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. Isn't that amazing? You know, it's still got food like that. All I've had to do is grow it and pick it, and just keep it here in the utility. You can see it's quite light, and we've been eating loads of these right throughout the autumn, winter and spring, and we've just got these few left now, so delicious.